everybody, welcome to another episode of the Suzie Wokabi podcast. And today I have a new amazing guest for you. Again, I'm super jealous because you're going to learn a story that is incredible. This is a beautiful human being that you can see sitting right next to me. Her name is Patricia Ithau. And apart from the billion amazing things she has done in this country, which we will get into during our conversation, I am very, very proud to call her friend, and I'm more proud to call her cousin because we actually have blood in between us. So listen out for the conversation. That will come up at some point. Hello, darling.
Hello.
Hi, Patricia.
How are you, my dear?
Welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun from the look of things.
From
the looks of things, yeah.
So I'm going to ask you because maybe people have been living under a rock and then don't know the name for whatever dumb reason. Let's start from the beginning. Let's go into the present, and we are going to go into the future. So, Patricia Ithau. One thing you are definitely known for is beauty queen.
Oh my god.
I know. Are you going to live that
Oh
down?
my goodness, no, I can't.
You will never. So
3
it was-
decades later.
What is it? Miss Kenya?
Yes.
Miss
3 decades later.
She was Miss Kenya.
Oh,
about that.
God. Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And when you were how old? What was that?
I was 20, I think. I think I was 20. Yeah.
And still maybe better looking now.
I hope so. I mean, there's something about, they say, I love wine, so,
Yeah.
I'd like to share some of the qualities of wine, that it's better with age. So
Absolutely.
yes, yeah.
Absolutely.
So those are the things.
Awesome, sweetie.
Yeah.
So tell me, born and bred,
Kenya.
Nairobi,
Yes.
schooling.
I'm a Loreto girl. I'm
Yeah.
a very, very convent girl right through my life. Started at Loreto Convent Mombasa, then went to Loreto Valley Road and finished at Loreto Masagari. So I've done Loreto all through, and so did my mother. So my mother was also a Loreto girl.
Who is my relative?
Who's
also.
a relative, second cousin to her mother. So they
Why
they did.
Mombasa? Why did
Because
you
my parents were working there. My father was working there, so that's where we went, and that's where I did my first 3 years of school.
Okay.
At Loreto Convent, Mombasa,
And then came back
and then came to Nairobi, and we ended on and
into
finished,
the Loretos.
and then into the Loretos, and then into University here of Nairobi, and then work, right?
So I'm going to just venture into where were you discovered?
Discovered by who?
Like I mean, for me, you and Iman is kind of the same thing.
I don't know.
Why
I
did
don't
you
know
end
about.
up getting into pageantry?
Well, actually, that was a real. Every time I tell people this story, and I can live it down now, it is very, very interesting. It was a lark. You know, when we say a lark, it was an absolute lark. I had this amazing lady who had met me, and she used to tell me, "Oh, Patricia, would you, you're this, you're that, and we really want to professionalize this." And her name was the late Mildred Awiti. I think a lot of people know Mildred Awiti.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
amazing woman. She was one of the first, I think, models in the country and everything else. And she happened to know me, and I'm trying to remember where the connection is. I still have never quite figured it out. And she tells me, something, Patricia, we'd really like to get somebody a little bit more professional, whatever, doing this Miss Kenya thing. And I was like, Miss Kenya.
Oh.
And I said,
Had you ever ventured into
I
modeling?
said no. I mean, I dabbled with it, because you know how you dabble with these things. You dabble with it because I think from the time I
dabbled as well.
You dabbled as well. 17, 18, I was always very clear. I don't like being given money, so I like to earn money. So for me, I worked from the time I was, 18, 19, 20. I've worked all my life. So it was very interesting. So she tells me, no, let's do this, let's try, and everything else. So I'm like, okay, but will anybody know about it? And she's like, no. Do you know any past Miss Kenya? I mean, listen, this is the first most stupid thing. I realize I'm a very gullible person, and I still am in a lot of ways. and she tells me, but which other Miss Kenya do you know? And I said, okay, I know Khadija. I said, yeah, but which other one? And I said, which other one? I said, okay, I'm not sure I know any other. She said, you see, if you do it, nobody's going to know. But we just need to present a different face than Miss World pageantry and whatever. So let's see how it is. So I go and then get to this thing. Fortunately, my mother was supportive. She was even there at the event with my auntie. You should imagine her jumping up and down. And then, the next day I'm front page in the newspaper and all hell broke loose. And I'm like, oh my God, nobody was supposed to know.
I did not know the details of this story.
This is the details of the story. And they were very happy. My parents were very happy, but society at the time was not ready. They were not ready for somebody who's at the university, who's doing certain things. They just were not ready.
That was completely incomprehensible.
Completely incomprehensible, and everybody was like, "How would you do this? Well, you're not the kind of girl to do this."
This kind
of thing, and it was that kind.
Wow.
The funniest thing now, I've got a daughter who kills me, and she would have done anything for me to have made her Miss Kenya. But anyway. Generations later,
of course,
the world has changed. Yeah, so that's how I wound up.
Girls are drop dead gorgeous.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.
Two girls.
Yes, the two. Yes.
How old? No.
25 and 23. Actually, both. One 25 this year, the other one 23 this year. So I am not yet, but that's the age they're gonna be. So I am. I do have old girls.
I grow up, I hope to be just like you.
Both graduated from college.
Babies are 11 and 8.
Both graduated from college, so I am as free as a bird.
Are you empty nesting?
Well, we empty nested.
You've been empty nested.
Yeah, and I empty nested. They were in boarding school, then they went to college, they were in the US, and then now they're all back home. So the nest is just filled up all over again. I mean, we've just done the full circle.
And I'm sure, that's a full circle, and I'm sure you're kind of super doting.
Oh, it's fun. I enjoy them. We are very good friends. We have so much fun together. I think the toughest thing for me is, we do have a great relationship, to be very, very
That's
honest.
amazing.
Including clothes and everything. I spend my whole time looking for my stuff.
Because they take
the minute they spot something, man, that's a nice top. And then next thing I know,
well, so far, I will not have that problem. Because it's two boys.
Well, who knows? That's the world we live in these days.
Stop it!
Everything is pan. We talk about pan. So with a pan, everything is possible. You should everything is possible.
Oh my Lord.
And you have to be open to the possibility.
I don't have a choice. You're right.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah.
Now we must delve into professionalism, because you are somebody that too many women look up to.
Thank you.
As a professional inside of corporate, as an entrepreneur, as you are just somebody. So let's start. Where did your professional life start? And I'll probably stop you in the middle somewhere. You said you've worked all your life.
I've worked all my life. Simply because, as I said, I've always had a principle. I find it very hard being given money. So I think my parents gave me money the last time when I was probably 18, 19. And then from then I always found a way to make money.
This is
and
not
to work
good.
and to make money.
As my cousin
it...
who is boasting, and my mom probably still takes care of me. But anyway,
I just find it incredibly hard to be given money.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not fun.
Yeah, it's not fun. I mean, I've been married nearly 3 decades, and even with my husband, I find it hard getting money. No, it's just that I've always had that sense of independence, which has driven me to work and to want to do things. So yes, so I was recruited from the university to Unilever, which was my first job.
Oh
yes, and that's how I went into Unilever. And
it
was a management trainee, and then went on to brand management, then went on to marketing, and I finished at Unilever as a marketing director for the region. So
how many years later?
A long time. Well, let's talk about this. It was a long time. I got a long service award, so that tells you how long it was. Yeah. So, but it was a fantastic career because I worked in the UK, I worked in South Africa, I worked in Kenya. Yes, So it was a fantastic career. I mean, Unilever is one of those organizations. They say it's the university of work life. So I had a lot of my training happened. And it was very systematic, very sequential. They were very clear. If you want to be this, is what you have to do. You want to be this, is what you want to do. And I tell you, some of the training that I've been through is mind-blowing. I say, the day I could sort out my head and write a book, I tell you, I will tell the stories. I had some of the most incredible training. I remember some of the, towards the end, when they were taking us through what they call their leadership training journeys. And one was the most incredible one, where we went around the world to different places, but you never knew where you were going. What? And the whole idea there was to try and get you to get to a place where you get out of your comfort zone. Because they say you become your best person, the best leader.
Like you could
when you've dropped your hang-ups.
You can be in Morocco or Russia.
It was very simple. So, for example, all you're told is passport. Does it have Schengen visa? Does it have UK visa? Does it have South African visa? That's it. That's all. Those in place? Okay, fine. What size clothes do you wear? You give the size clothes. Okay. So what do I come with? Well, little toilet bag and, comfort, your underwear, whatever. That's all we're told to do. And I had no idea where I was going. I was just told, okay, you'll get your ticket on this particular day. And you arrive and you get the first ticket, flew to Johannesburg. Got to Johannesburg, somebody meets you, and I'm like, okay, now I'm in just, what next? And I'm told, oh, now you're heading to Durban. I'm like, okay, fair enough. And the tickets were always next stage.
This was like a treasure hunt.
It was a treasure hunt, literally. And I wound up working in the stuff I did. I did 3 days working for some white family in Durban as a maid, complete with a uniform. I mean, this is the sort of experience. I lived in the servants' quarter with a dripping tap, understood why that is a torture technique because it was absolutely crazy, did that. Finished, so you have a chance to freshen up at a lovely posh hotel, and then you go on the next journey, given the next ticket, flew to Zurich, and from Zurich, okay, you're just bundled into groups, given a new set of clothes, given another boarding pass, and told, and some private planes which had destination unknown. I mean, literally, the plane says destination unknown. From there, you get on this plane and you're like, where the world am I going to? You can see the Alps or whatever. You land in this place with stuff written in different languages, and you're like, okay, you're in Croatia. So you land in Croatia, and it was incredible. I tell you.
Okay, so how long did this go on for?
It wasn't long, actually. It was 2 weeks, but the whole idea. But the end was fantastic. We had two Unilever chairmen. They met us at the end, and on this yacht, and we celebrated, and people talked about what do they learn from that journey. What was the discomfort? How did it allow you to be an entrepreneur? How did it allow you to get away from this sense of always being, safe and whatever else? I mean, it was a fantastic experience. I always tell people of
why do I not know this story?
It was incredible. Yeah,
I'm so amazed and impressed. I'm trying to take my jaw off the floor. Okay.
So I did that.
So you did.
And then,
But then, so you didn't say how many years at Unilever, but then this is part of it.
15 years, yes. And then after that, I was then headhunted to the brewery. The East African Breweries at the time, as you know, was the largest business. That was before Safaricom came into the picture.
Yes.
So I went there as a marketing director, and it was fantastic. And for me, it was a great challenge at the time, because I was, when you're working for an organization where everything you produce is good for society, good, nobody's going to hate you when you say, I brought you home, or my family, everybody every month would be like, oh, where's our Kimbo, where's our Blue Band, where's our this, where's,
but now you're bringing now
you're going, so you're going where? To work for who? To do what? And,
we don't want so much beer
and spirits, but you don't even drink. I didn't drink. I mean, I'm one of those people who I'm a very late drinker, so to speak. And it was very, very interesting. But for me, I think it was a challenge. I needed the challenge. And because I feel that with everything in life, it is about how you treat it. You should never work to judge things, because everything, everything that's good for you can also be bad for you.
Sure.
That's a reality of
And
it.
and everything in excess is not a good thing, even if it's like our
this a very bad. It's not good.
Too much.
Exactly. You take too much sugar, it's bad for you.
Yeah.
You take too much salt, it's too bad for you. You take too much fat, so it's the same thing, I think, with the whole alcohol. And the promise we had was this whole space that how do you celebrate life responsibly? And I think for me, there were two agendas when I went there. One is really to start to drive the responsible drinking agenda.
And wait, your title there was?
As a marketing director. I started first as a marketing director. So the two agendas was really responsible drinking. I had a big task around, you've got to make Tusker be the number one brand again. It had gone through its battles, whatever else. Let's make it number one brand. So that's why I created that Tusker Project Fame, which everybody remembers.
I worked behind the scenes of TPF.
It was one of my best challenges. I remember sitting down and my boss at the time saying, Patricia, you're going to make this. I said, okay, so you're going to give me the money. And I said, okay, give me $1 million and I'm going to turn Tusker into the number one. And we created this concept, which I, went around, met the Idols people, met the Big Brother people, and finally struck a deal with the Big Brother people and said, you're going to come and do this, and we're going to create it, and we're going to brand it this way. And we created a whole, what do you call it?
The movement.
What do you call it? The whole, because that's the first time in Kenya we're doing reality TV, actually in Kenya. Because at the time Big Brother was in South Africa. Yeah, so we created a reality show right here and I remember looking for the house, and that's when I learned how things get shot. So funny enough, and this is everything else. I'm gonna interrupt you there because I worked on remember East and Central African Idols came here, and I was backstage there for like 3-4 months, like such an amazing production. And then TPF came up. And I was behind the scenes there, and it was amazing. I was absolutely blown away.
So blessed.
And okay, so you're
the training behind that.
Yeah, so the training was great because we trained a lot of people on how to shoot reality shows.
Yes, it's a whole thing.
We created a whole load of investors. Every time I see Mike Rabana, I tell him, because Mike, said, Mike, you're gonna bring homeboys. You guys gotta bring the lights. You're gonna do this thing. We've got to figure out how to make it work.
How to make it market.
And it was a house and everything, and it was so much fun. And I think for me, we went into 4 or 5 seasons. By the time I left, it continued, and there was always a cynicism of Kenyans. Oh, what are you doing? Where are these stars going to go? What? I'm like, listen, you enjoyed the show. You brought people. Yeah. Just look at the effect, the positive effects that we had.
Yes.
All the people,
and there were
all the
many.
Kenyans were trained in this new industry of reality.
How many of them went and became stars?
Everybody went and became stars. We started to open up a completely new type of entertainment industry in the country. So that for me was good fun. So I did marketing for 3 years, but my ambition was always to go into general management, to run businesses. Yeah. And so that's why then I got the opportunity to go to run Uganda Breweries, my first big GM role. And that was pretty tough. Tough from a personal point more than anything else, because I think the family was so used to they were just fed up with all this, you're off your back, whatever. So they stayed, everybody. The funniest thing is, I was in Uganda, not once did my husband or my children ever come there, but I used to come home every weekend, almost every weekend.
Okay, but it's not that big a
it's not a distance. The first role I was offered was in West Africa, and I think, so I'll be honest and say, my husband, forget it. So I said, okay. So when they brought the next one, I said, okay, now this one is next door. Is it okay? So I think you can't keep saying no. So I said, okay, fine. So I went to Uganda, and I used to commute, but it was tough because my girls were also at a stage when they needed their mother around them. So I couldn't do it for very long, came back and continued then doing it, doing a role that was, growing the business in the region as a managing director for what they call the international business. Okay. And then L'Oreal came knocking. So I got a funny phone call.
Here's where we need to venture into, because we were in the same industry for a while.
Yes, we were.
And you actually, every time we would meet, you're like, are you a psychopath
Yeah.
or a sociopath? Because this industry is insanity, and like, how do you just how do you do it? Because it is insane.
It is very
Yeah.
insane. But I loved it. I mean, so it was interesting. Complete stranger headhunter picks up a phone. I pick up my phone.
You are the person from the beginning by yourself,
yes,
even. I think, yeah.
And they called me and they said, got the role. In fact, the first thing did an interview. The interview was come to Paris, and I was like, took 2 days off from work, went to Paris a Thursday and a Friday.
As one does.
Met 10 of all the business heads of the business. I mean, of L'Oreal Global in 2 days. I did 10 interviews. I was going from 1, 2, 3, cliche, from one to the other. And on Monday they called me and said, you have the job. And I said, fantastic. And but then I started to think, oh my God, I've said, yeah, fantastic, but to what? How do I begin this thing? And then the journey began. And it was, I think, in hindsight, something always looks more easy. But when you were sitting there by yourself, you go, oh God, what do we begin?
To myself.
Yeah, but it was fantastic. Had lots of support. And, they're very clear, You spend time in Paris and they L'Orealize you and you understand the business.
Where did we meet? We went to
North Carolina. Now that was down the line. Remember, I was already in the business.
You were,
and that was Suzie Boyer's program.
Yes,
right. So when she told us the Zawadi girls, and she told me come, and I was like, speak to the girls, and I was like, oh, but I'll be in Paris, and it was crazy.
Wait, she was babysitting.
I babysitted Nate,
who was 6 months old. You guys remember him from season 1, episode 1. He was this high.
He was on her boob the whole time. He was on the boob the whole time. Stop saying I was with. And I was pricing him from
I have to go to the top. And she's like, just give me him.
Just give me Nate. So I sit with Nate. She does her talk. I do my, and then I pass her back, do the talk. But it was crazy. I mean, I flew from Paris to. I didn't even know how far this Meredith college was. You know me, I say yes to stuff and then afterwards figure out where the hell it is.
And we're obviously related.
We're related,
yeah,
clearly. I got on a plane, I'm like landing Atlanta, from Atlanta to someplace in North Carolina, then North Carolina, another flight again. I was like, what the hell did I get myself into? And even when you're landing in North Carolina, it might not be the right town in North Carolina. Like, what the hell did I get myself into? So I get there, all these girls are waiting and did hours and knackered. And in my head, I'm thinking, I'm going to be in Paris. I'm going to be in Clichy at 9 o'clock on Monday morning.
You were kind of freaking out.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, how should I do this?
And we literally spent hours together.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Oh, but Nate's was a beautiful baby. Babies like that.
Well, he's now he's here.
I know, he was wonderful. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I remember that very clearly. And now, okay, so L'Oreal. Please, I need you. I just did I did an episode recently with my beauty industry counterparts. The industry in your head, in your interpretation.
Yes.
Please let the people know, because it's different for me. It's different for you. It's different for them. Mm-hmm. What is yours?
So what do you mean by context?
The Kenyan beauty industry, retail-wise, I guess, especially.
So if anybody asks me, Suzie, it's a one bet you're not going to lose out on. You're not going to lose. However, having said that, you have to carve your niche. You have to know what it is you are doing. Because having said you can't lose, it's also very fickle. Yeah? If there's something that I learned from this the beauty industry is that, first of all, women don't just, they pile. It's a stacking industry. I look at my so-called makeup and when I was at your shop, and I'm like, I've got all these things, but I still want another one.
This is a Suzie Beauty face, as you see.
Yes, Suzie Beauty. This is Suzie Beauty.
You just have stuff.
And so you sit down and you've got 4 concealers. Somebody comes up,
94 eyeshadows,
95 shadows. You never wear brushes, half of them, but you go there and you're wowed by all these colors, and you don't even use them most of the time, but you have them. So here's the thing: the question you ask yourself then is, if that is the case, how do I become the choice for consumers? Now, when you start to see the Rihannas of this world and what Fenty is doing, that is the niche. And I learned from L'Oreal in particular this thing called star product. You pick on a star product, build your name on star product, plug that star product, make sure every single woman has that star product before you move to the next star product. So it's a constant roller coaster of innovation
it's a movement
and
situation.
creation and a movement. And that's why you find the Kardashian girl can become a billionaire from doing lip gloss.
Yeah.
Because you just do lip gloss and just make sure the whole world has your lip gloss.
It's a limited edition. And
then there's a risk. I remember when I had the conversation with you and you were bringing in the shadows, and I remember when I launched Maybelline in this market, Maybelline New York.
Yeah.
And it was a nightmare because also there's an evolution and there's a tipping point in time. So 7-8 years ago, women didn't wear makeup in Kenya.
No,
actually, makeup was not, we had a lipstick, you had a liner,
and then
and if you wore anything else, you're an absolute tot. Yeah.
Second of all, you're wearing it when you're going to that wedding on Saturday.
But even if you wear that wedding, and I'll share a story of another good friend of mine, House of Tara, who I'll tell the story.
Girl Tara.
Tara, yes. And this is a story that was shared as well. So House of Tara, because now my current job is Stanford Seed, we work with a lot of entrepreneurs. And she was part of the Stanford Seed program in Nigeria.
You're going to tell us more about
this. I'm going to talk to you because that's my new. And Tara then decided from Lagos she wants to move to Nairobi. And apparently her salesperson, the person she had appointed to come and start the House of Tara in Kenya, is at the launch event at the hotel when we're launching it. Getting ready, fussing around. You were at and everything else. And as she's there, she watches this Kenyan bride and groom coming in. Yeah, because the particular hotel, brides and grooms come in for photographs.
Yeah.
And she nearly passed out. Because this bride had no makeup.
Okay, so I would have passed out. That is not an option.
No, I mean, she sat down, she's like, Nigeria, and Lagos. It is absolutely.
And I'm going to pause you right there.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
She invited me to Lagos a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm still recovering, first of all, from the trip because Lagos is
its
own animal. I understand why you were like, I don't know if I'm going to West Africa.
Yeah.
But the security guard who's checking my luggage when I'm getting into the airport has perfect makeup on.
Yes.
Like better than mine.
Eyebrows.
Better.
Have you ever seen eyebrows?
100%.
Perfect eyebrows all the time.
And a makeup artist here in Nairobi could not do what she's done on herself to come to work to check my security bags.
Exactly.
So it's not a joke. It's not a joke.
Actually, she was. She just said, she's like, are we doing the right thing? Is this the right market? Wait. The bride is the ultimate example of when makeup is done. If this girl she's walking here, so it's done. She's married, whatever. And she's like, who are we going to sell this makeup to?
I'll stop you there also. Exactly. Like in Nigeria, the bride gets her makeup done, but the audience gets their makeup done. Everyone pays for their own makeup to get done, to be in the audience.
Yes. And they do transformational makeup.
Completely. Yeah.
So,
you've seen TikTok videos.
I tell you, it's incredible the journey we've been on. I mean, one of my daughters, my younger daughter, the model, who's a model, loves to do this type of thing and everything else. Mm-hmm. She is the one who teaches me makeup. Mm-hmm. And you should see her every time. Mom, I've shown you this a million times. And I'm like, you've got to be patient. Okay, I'm not very patient. Let's start. Because they start doing something with me and they can see, okay, we can see you're impatient, right?
You need to go.
So I'm like,
hurry to get off the chair.
I start, and every time I'm really calm, I'm like, okay, are we nearly done?
You're meant to sit into it.
No. And then they say, Mom, we can feel. This is the moment. We can feel the impatience coming. Can you just sit down? I finish. And I'm like, oh God. That's why I probably can't do makeup for long, because I'm like, really, just dab it on, It takes hours.
No, it does not. My full face of makeup takes 7 to 8 minutes. But that's also because I've done it for 20-something years. God. But
like today, your girls, I'm sitting there, I'm at the edge of the chair, and my phone is ringing, and I'm like, okay, all right, okay. And then she's telling me, close your eyes, we need to do. And I'm like, okay, you finished.
No, I think that might be why I barely ever get my makeup done. Only one person has ever done it. But because of myself, I like do this fast, do this fast. Inside of 8 minutes I'm done.
Yeah.
And it's a full face on.
Yes.
But yes, I understand the pain because I also watch. It could be my girls that I've trained, or it could be just like other makeup artists. I'm like, why are you still on that person's face?
You should be done.
Stop.
Yeah.
So it's a whole thing on its own, and then it's a new generation, and they have their own system.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, inside of L'Oreal, there's luxury products. There's a mass
L'Oreal
product.
is a monolith.
Whatever.
France is L'Oreal. Let's stop there. And then the first thing I think I discovered, even when the guy called me, I was like, "Is he a joker? Why am I going to go sell one pot of very expensive face cream?" Because I knew L'Oreal in Paris. Yeah. And then I googled L'Oreal.
There's Maybelline.
I googled.
They're acquirers of brands.
Yes, they acquire the whole business.
So Estée Lauder and L'Oreal are like equal.
And actually, their business has grown from acquisitions. Every single thing, from Yves Saint Laurent to every single brand to Body Shop, and people don't know Body Shop, which was at that time. Yes. Every single brand, Soft Sheen Carson, which is all the dark.
So there's only very few giants, and that is definitely
that was
way up there.
Yeah. From Maybelline to Garnier, and I was like, all these things. I realized I went into my house.
And it's hair.
It's body, it's all the perfumes, all my favorite perfumes. I go to Lancôme, oh my god, that's L'Oreal.
Yeah.
I go to Giorgio Armani, oh my goodness, that is
L'Oreal.
Victor and Rolf, which I really love, that is all L'Oreal.
I must not over express my enthusiasm inside of the brand because I have stuff to take care of on my side. Yeah. But Maybelline mascaras drive me crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to make something close to that.
No, actually, the Maybelline mascara, that's their stock product.
Absolutely.
Maybelline are very clear. The mascara is the volume.
The pink one?
The pink one's the volume.
The first one.
The first one.
The pink one with the green top. They sell, I think, one every 6 seconds.
Yes.
In the world.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Until today.
And Maybelline is just absolutely, because Maybelline also used to do a lot of sponsors. I first heard of Maybelline Miss World because they used to do a lot of sponsorship for Miss World and Miss Universe, and there was Maybelline. But it's just an exciting world. I mean,
it really is.
I spend every summer.
There's many brands. There's so much to play with.
Every summer we'd have to go. When you're running a L'Oreal business in the world, you'd have to spend your summer in Paris because that's when you do.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That sounds terrible.
It was awful. Oh my god, it was absolutely what
I had to summer in Paris.
It was such a horrible experience. I can't imagine. That's the only time my children showed up.
Then they were like,
I'd pull them out of school. They'd come and they'd just come and hang out with me. And they loved it. They used to love it. So in that season, which was probably the best times for me at L'Oreal, was then all the different products which showcase what they have innovated and what they'll be looking for the next year. So you CEOs who are running the businesses were supposed to sit down and look, what can I put in my strategy, what can I put in my country and everything else. And the shows were to die for. Suzie, the Maybelline New York one. You were like, they create like this whole set, like you're there, you sit and everybody's dolled up and this and that. And
have you visited Cosmoprof?
Yes.
Like in Bologna and Vegas, whatever. So more than that.
Oh my goodness. You'd go there and you were like, this is, you just be there stargazing, and it doesn't matter how old you are, you just be stargazing at the wow, and French is chic and everything is so beautiful, and that's where I think I learned how to drink wine. That's the other thing I must say. If there's anybody who taught me to drink, it was the French. It was not even French.
I applaud you, Le Française.
Yeah, because you go to a meeting. And we'd have this meeting at this chateau or whatever, where the CEO would meet all these country heads and whatever. And the first time I went for this meeting, you come out at lunchtime, and you go for lunch, and the choices you had was water or wine. Okay? So
That
first day you
makes
have
sense
water
to
on.
me.
So when you leave, it makes absolute sense. This is lunch. And then after you finish, at the end of the day, as you walk out of the room where the presentations are, there's all these guys with the champagne glasses. So tell me, how did I not learn how to do champagne?
12 p.m., yeah?
No, this is 5, as soon as you're done.
Okay.
And then try asking for a Coke or juice and the look you get.
They don't understand.
No coca.
No, comprends pas.
De l'eau. Or de vie. So you're like, okay, de vie?
Yeah,
That was the
good
way it used to
there.
be, and that's the way it used to be. But it was good fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what made you depart from that?
I think fatigue. I mean, there's so many things that came together. I had worked non-stop for 25 years, and I'm non-stop. When I say non-stop, I had the longest breaks I'd ever had were my 2 maternities. And maternity, when I had my children, was 60 calendar days. When I say calendar days, I don't mean 60 working days, 60 straight calendar days, and then you're back at work. So I in many ways, I recognized a point called burnt out, and I was well and truly burnt out. I struggled to sleep, I was overweight, I'm terrible, my skin was bad. I mean, everything was just because you're just stressed. You've just been on this for many years. And then, and remember, you also got children who you're running after, you're chasing, you're at school events, you're traveling, you're on planes all the time, you've got a home you're running. Yeah, there's just everything happening. And then I think for me, but the bigger thing as well, that's why I say a lot of things came together, was that I have these 2 girls who are getting ready to go to college. And my daughters, bless them, they are very bright. I can say that. I know it's modest, but they are. And here they were all along. They were going to go. We were very clear that they were going to school in the UK, and the school they were in was the UK. It's GC system, so it was very clear. The structures were there. They were going to wind up in the UK. And then I went on a program. I even took them on a program. I was doing something in the side business school in Oxford, and I carried them there to inspire them. And especially my older daughter, who was, who could have applied and gotten into there and whatever. And the idea was to really inspire her to go there. And at the end, they just said, I don't want to go to England.
I don't want to.
No, I'm not going to England. And I said, okay, what do you mean you're not going to England?
Like
but your whole school, the whole system, this is it. Don't you like this? Look at this, it's wonderful. We went to all these places. I'm like, look at this. This is wonderful, isn't it? She said, no, I want to go to America. America? Who goes to America? Why would you want to go to America?
Especially if that's not been in the mind.
How do you even begin to go to America? The school doesn't even teach you how to go to America. There's no system to support you to go into America. But she was very adamant. So I realized, I had to stop and have to figure out how to do that.
High schools that are American system.
No, they're not. They're not. So that's the other thing. So I realized if I've got to be there for them and help them to do this America thing. So it's a combination.
Okay.
So I realized.
Did you move? You moved?
So that's why I quit, and I said, let me take a break and
then you went to
do
Boston.
this. No, and then help them here and work through how to get into America. And the brief I had is you can go to America if you're going to a good school. You're not going to go to America to a second-rate university. You could go when you've got places, a first-rate university in the UK. Why would you do that?
Sure.
And so we went through the process, and fortunately, both of them got into very good universities. Okay, the top universities in the US.
Name names.
The first one went to Stanford, and the second one got into Yale.
Oh my!
Yeah. So it was worth it. My almost 2-year break was worth it. So I spent a lot of time doing that. I kid you not.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So that's
worth it. Absolutely.
Yes.
And congratulations on that.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
well,
Miss Superwoman.
No, it was one of those things I had to do. Let's put it that way. We had to do it. Yeah.
Okay, so that's when you took the break. I mean, you left.
Yeah, I took a break. I did that. I cleared my head.
Still sort of exists.
I pretended to be a kept woman.
I started to play golf.
I started to play
golf.
Oh
yes, you used to tell me, you're like, I play golf.
I started to play golf. I had the golf clubs. They've been in the cupboard for more than 15 years. Were dusted, brought out. And I said, this is it.
Were you enjoying it? You know, I quit golf when I was 12.
I love it. Oh, I love it.
Oh, there's nothing I like about it. I have an avid golfing family.
Yeah.
My dad, my brother are obsessed.
Yeah. But you know, the time comes.
I couldn't.
Because when I was at your stage, when I bought my golf clubs, I also couldn't do it.
Why were you buying golf clubs?
Because I was going to do it. Because everybody said it's a thing you do, right?
No,
You're
so
I was do it.
Oh no, I was forced to go to golfing lessons when I was 11 or 10, maybe. I even won competitions, girls and boys championships, and with that guy, by the time I was 12, I gave my dad back his kit that he had bought for me, and I'm like, I don't like anything about this.
My girls, I took them to golf as well. And I stopped. They just, and then they used to follow me and laugh and take videos. Come on, can you hit it?
Hacking.
Yeah, you're hacking in the bunker. It's like hacking in the bunker, cursing, and everything else. Yeah.
Okay, and then what is right now? The latest scene of Miss Patricia.
Okay, so after I did that, of course, clearly when they went, I mean, I'm there fiddling. I'm not the type to do nothing. I mean, got the fiddly. And so when Stanford came knocking and said, they wanted to start this program, support SMEs in the region, it was straight right up my alley, because also I wanted to shift from a more corporate to a more impact and making a difference. that kind of a thing. And so that's how I wound up with the Stanford Institute for Innovation, which is SEED. We work with entrepreneurs, recruit entrepreneurs. We're an accelerator. I have a fantastic team who work with different businesses over the course of the year when we recruit you. And the whole idea is really to make you a business that can, go beyond you, the business leader, can become, because I think as emerging countries, as emerging economies, all across all the emerging economies, I work with business leaders from across the whole patch of in sub-Sahara, Southern and Eastern Africa, and it's this whole sense that we have to go beyond the startup phase where I do something, I'm on my own, and the minute I leave it, the thing dies. Because if indeed we're to change our fortunes, as you know, is we have to create sustainable businesses that will employ people, that will survive beyond you.
Yes.
Yeah. And we have to produce the Samsung from this continent. We have to get a Samsung. We have to get, a Kia. We have to get, one of these big businesses coming, because how come we have such amazing businesses, but nobody ever knows beyond a certain time that, how many people do you know who have fantastic businesses, do everything, they have, cars, this, everything, and then suddenly it's all gone. And you ask yourself what happened. So we need to move beyond that, have proper structures, governance, management teams that run this business knowing it's going to go beyond this individual who they're living with. The big thing is always capital. We also have to figure out then how do you get to a place where you can attract and absorb the right kind of capital, but more than anything else, start to really create jobs, employ people, because waiting for multinationals and public sector to create jobs is not going to happen. It is all these amazing Suzies who are running businesses who are actually going to do that for us. And so that's what we're trying to do with SEED. So it's been a fantastic journey, and some of the businesses are absolutely amazing. And some, Vivo.
Yeah, of course,
Yes, there's some incredible businesses. Yeah.
I love it so much. And so is this what you're currently focusing on?
I've done it for a number of years now. So,
yes.
but it's what I've been focusing on. Is it what I'm going to continue focusing on? I'll always have a passion for this space. But, in life, we always look for change. We're always looking for the next big thing.
Something more.
What is our next mountain?
What's another interesting thing?
It's not even interesting. What's our next mountain? What's my next mountain? What's my next mountain?
It's true. It can't stagnate. It can never stagnate.
That's the whole idea.
We are so the same. And I love you so much for being here. Please tell us, where do we find you? SEED. Where is somebody finding SEED? And I think that would be the main focus right now.
Yes. So SEED, the website, I keep forgetting how to say it, is just Google GSB Stanford, Stanford GSB seed. Can I just check? I'm going to tell you the exact website. It's always best because it keeps changing. I keep saying this is absolutely terrible. I should know it after all these years, be able to tell somebody this is the exact, all right. So it's www.gsb.stanford.edu. So the minute you go there, you'll find the seed. We're currently recruiting businesses right now, right across the patch. And really expanded the mandate also for the businesses now, going also to Mauritius, Madagascar, Mozambique. Because I think everybody, please, I tell everybody, please apply. And all we look for is for you to have a revenue of $300,000 to $15 million revenue. Mm-hmm. You have to have a management team. And you have to show us some revenues for 2-3 years. So those are sort of things. It is very competitive, I won't lie, because in a year I'll take a maximum of 60 businesses, and we get 700. But anyway, applications.
Yeah, of course, I can imagine.
But you know, you do it. The resources that are thrown at you are absolutely incredible. It's going to be an experience which you will not forget and you will not regret.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then you, on a personal note. Is anyone looking for you? Do you care to be found, or?
Oh, find me anywhere. I mean, I tell people find me, but I think my biggest challenge actually is a lot of people saying, "Oh, mentor me, mentor, coach, this, that," and I feel so bad because I wish I could find a way to spread myself.
I know,
and it's so difficult. And it's so difficult telling people that yes, I would love to, but there's only so much bandwidth I have. And I don't want to let people down. I don't want to say I'm going to speak to you, and then of course, the 100 things that I do, the 100 things that happen. I mean, I have days sometimes which are 8 to 9 even now, because I work on 2 time zones, and this is stuff I'm doing on the East Africa time zone. There's stuff I'm doing on the US time zone.
Sure.
So my days can, I mean, I sometimes look like I'm sitting here with Suzie having a wonderful time, and she's Sonia. So, you're lucky you can do that, but it takes a lot to plan and do it, and sometimes it's
why planning times is very, very interesting.
Yes.
Because of these busy, important, amazing people.
But yes, I work late. I don't, I'm not precious about time.
Yeah.
I'm best at about 8 in the evening.
And morning?
Terrible.
Worse.
Oh my goodness.
If you're terrible, I'm worse.
People, like tomorrow, my first appointment, I mean, there's something I'm doing for International Women's Week, and it's 7:45, and my head keeps saying 7:45.
Oh.
But this week, I've had 3 meetings, all starting 7:30, 7:45.
No. My brain doesn't start working until 11 a.m.
Yes.
At best.
Yes. Yeah.
So I understand completely.
Yeah.
Oh, sweetie, thank you so much for giving me that time.
And
my cuz. I'm so proud to call her, and I will do that forever.
Yeah.
Now, before I let you go.
Yes. What am I supposed to do that? Is that one of those? I like those. I'm into games these days.
It's actually not even that much.
What is it? What is it?
It's give me 3 3 mistakes you made that you wish you never had.
Okay. 3 mistakes I've made that I wish I never had.
And that's even if you.
The first mistake was very generic. It was this saying no to something before fully evaluating it. So the first thing I tell people, if anybody calls or asks you, just say yes. Listen to them. Take it. Don't just say no just because it was right. First mistake. And I have a couple of regrets from those no's, which I look, and I don't regret things in life because I say, don't regret, move on. But I still in my head, I've learned and I've said, don't do that. What was the second thing? Mistakes that I've made. The second mistake is maybe not so much a mistake, but it's this sense in believing too much in people. And I mean, it's who I am. I will continue to do that. But I know there was one particular experience which there was a work one where I absolutely trusted, and I knew the individual was not trustworthy and everything else. But in my head, I didn't know. I didn't have the courage to call them out and to say, "Listen, I'm gonna be shafted here," and I was shafted. But But, so now I find ways, even if you're telling me and I know you're not like that, I find ways of letting you know, actually, I know where you're at. So that for me is the second big mistake. Listening to my gut. Never. I trust my instincts. I trust my guts a lot, and I just don't ignore it. This thing called female intuition is a powerful thing.
Not a joke.
So women, I tell you, when your intuition tells you it's not right, it's not wrong, just work with it. Work with it. Yes. And even if you know it is wrong, go with it. But knowing that it is wrong. So that's the second thing. The third mistake. What is the third mistake I could say?
There may not be.
I don't think there's another third mistake.
Okay.
I try not to count mistakes, to be honest. Yeah.
And then two incredible, non-mistakes that you made in your life. Oh my God, I can't believe I might not have done that.
Yeah.
I did it, and this is beyond amazing.
I think for me, the most incredible things I'll always say is my family, the children and everything. That's always tops, whatever you say. I mean, I look at my girls and did I produce you? How did this happen? Given the things I was, given my lifestyle, my everything, how did I produce people with such independent, incredible minds who can hold their own and everything else? So that for me is always going to be one of the most right up there. I don't think anything can compare. The second thing is also, I'd say, is the journey I went on with L'Oreal. I mean, whatever anybody says, I find that absolutely, because I can still visualize sitting at that service office and twiddling and sitting, okay, and the first thing, and then them telling me, okay, now we need a finance guy, we're sending you have to have somebody from L'Oreal background, and I think, okay, now I've got to figure out a work permit for this individual, and then, and all those things, and the journey, which, when I look back on it, it was a little over 3 years, but you're like, what happened in that time,
Wow.
So that for me is a second incredible thing.
Awesome.
And then the third thing, I think, is just life. I think for all the intents and purposes,
I feel like you're happy.
Yes, I've had so many blessings, and I have a raft of some of the most incredible friends. I've learned to choose who to be with. I've learned to be free. I've learned to not have hang-ups. I've learned never to travel light. And this is a message I tell everybody, travel light. This thing of carrying grudges and this and or being upset for 2 days and, having your lips still here. I can't. People just laugh at me because I could be upset max 2 days. Yes.
Good.
Even 2 days, I'm really pushing it because I'm trying. And then I'm saying, why am I doing this? God.
So that person that upset you, you're over it. Just
I have
soon.
no time. I have no time.
I love it.
Travel light.
Travel light.
Just travel
light.
Yeah.
I
So that's
love
the
it.
last
I thought you were going to say, when you're traveling to Paris, don't take
that
a
is
lot
terrible.
of
That
baggage.
is terrible. I just done a 3-4 day, 5 day away alone by myself with Tamil, where you don't even need a lot of clothes. So I was working out of that, and the suitcase I had.
Too big?
Traveling
you want
for
traveling light?
Me, I've never learned.
Ah.
Concept of traveling light.
That
That
one,
kind
yeah.
of traveling light, I've never learned. I get there, I'm like, why did I carry 5 pairs of shoes? Why? Why did I
To
carry
travel by
5?
myself.
Why do I need 5 pairs of shoes? And they're all the same, just different kinds of slippers. Why do you do that, Patricia? You don't do stuff like that.
You know what?
Yeah.
Some things just need to be how they are, and that's
I
what
walk
it is.
home at night and they're just looking at me. My husband, who's usually just rolls his eyes, just says, 5 days. And you originally going for 2, so the size of
So
the
now
day,
imagine
it can't even be lifted.
how I pack. I have boys, and then they literally can wear 2 t-shirts for 7 days.
Yes.
And I still have 2 big fat suitcases for them each.
So no, just to
that's-
share the
that's-
best anecdote, because I was always working with men when I was exec teams and everything. We'd all travel for these meetings and everything, and they always knew. Because they all have this little roller
One
thing.
roller bag.
So they land and they start can we have proof? Patricia's checking bags. And then they see me, so I used to learn, because I knew I was going to shop. So I used to learn to have 1 and then 2, like the Chinese dolls. So they're all fitted, because if they even dare see that, I'm going to pick up a trolley. And
So
so it looks like 1, but they're all inside the other.
So when you're leaving, you have 3.
Leaving, so they're like, so, okay. Huh? thing is very heavy because all the suitcases are inside the next suitcase, and they'd all be rolling their eyes because they just want to get out and walk out, and they have to wait for Patricia to pull out this thing. And then on the way back, oh my God, they're looking through your. But you came with one suitcase.
Like you went buying suitcases.
Where did these come from? Or we go to some place to shopping and whatever, and they're like, they want to buy 1-2 things, they're out. I tell you guys, leave me. I'm good.
Yeah.
See you guys?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. I'll see you. So, okay, we're doing dinner, whatever. I'm like, yeah. Catch up. Catch me there.
Always bad.
They see Patricia, she's coming through the lobby. Have you just checked in again?
You mind yours?
You mind my life? Me? This is the way I roll, okay? This is the way I roll. I'm not embarrassed, I'm not ashamed.
Yeah.
This is the way I roll,
Yeah.
okay?
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
You guys, my beautiful cousin, mentor in my head. Like, I know we never sat and like done a mentor-mentee session, but I look to you in so many ways, and I have for so many years.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Here, the beautiful Chef Sonia with the amazing Patricia Ithau. Please look her up. And again, the Suzie Wokabi podcast. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that. I don't know if you have any credentials that you need for them to comment, like blah blah blah.
I will find a way. Once you share it, I'll start plugging it. I'm learning.
She's learning.
I'm learning.
So look out for that. And here we are. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Mwah.
Thank you.